Because of the weather, I'm going to try to keep this a little short. I'll do my best to minimize the generic platitudes that you usually hear at these things, and I will also try to comfort and confront some of the frustrations that many of you are experiencing right now. In the last few days, we've seen students at Arizona State express their unhappiness that President Obama did not receive an honorary degree. Today, we see some of the students in Notre Dame unhappy that President Obama is even speaking to them. Here at Boston University, I know a few of you are a little less than thrilled that you have a mere congressman who gets to speak to you. But the truth is, if this is the biggest disappointment of your life, you are the luckiest people in the world. Life is full of disappointments. Some of them are big and some of them are small. You'll have to make your own decisions which one this one is. You know, sometimes the best messenger is somebody who's walked in your shoes and walks in them currently. Someone who faces the same uncertain abyss that each and every one of you are looking into today. I know that I'm not Bono or Tom Cruise, but my daily life is more like yours than you can imagine. The very fact that this incredibly average person is now a member of Congress and is your commencement speaker, it actually screams my message to you. My message is very simple, I think, that you do not have to be extraordinary. You do not have to be rich or famous to change this world. Anyone and everyone can make a difference. As graduates of Boston University, it's clear that you're now very well prepared to do just that. You will and can make a difference in this life. Now, some of you might think that I'm talking about making a lot of money and becoming wealthy. And that's all well and good. Everybody wants to have some degree of comfort, and that's reasonable. But if that's all there is, if it's just about making money, explain to me why Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, George Soros, and so many other billionaires have taken so much time to give away the money that they're accumulating. It's more than just making money. Tell me why so many of you, students right here at BU, have been so active in volunteering in so many causes. The one that's nearest and dearest to my heart is the effort to stop a genocide in Darfur. How come so many of you have given so much when you could have been out making money? Tell me why so many of you worked so hard to elect the President of these United States just last year. You already know there's more to life than making money. Most of you are well prepared to succeed in life. You're intelligent, you're energetic, you're enthusiastic, you're strong. And soon you'll have, or you already have, some of you already have, the diploma that'll prove just that. Now, I know that this graduating class is facing more obstacles than most. I know that. But most of you will find ways to succeed, and we all know that. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to ask a couple of simple questions. What else will you do with your life? Did God give you a brain just to go out and make money? Or did He give you a brain so that you can go out and find ways to improve the world? Do you have a heart just to pump blood through your body? Or do you have that heart to feel the pain and suffering of others and to commiserate with them and empathize with them and work on their behalf? Your lives will be easy if you ignore the rest of the world. Just put your head down, close your eyes, put your shoulder to the wheel, and go to work in your routine, mundane lives every day. That's an easy life. You can get a job, you can climb that ladder of success, you can make money, and you can build a very comfortable life for yourselves. But if that's all you do with the gifts God has given you, you will never feel fulfillment. You'll always know in your own hearts that you didn't challenge yourselves to something greater, something bigger than yourselves. You didn't use your voice to protest injustice. You'll pass through this life without leaving much of a wake behind you. That's not to say that those of you who stand up and fight to make this life better will win every battle. You certainly will not. All I'm saying is that life is a struggle each and every day. And yeah, that includes the struggle to accumulate wealth. But it also means helping your neighbor. It means fighting injustice. It means building a playground. It means helping the sick and feeding the poor. You've been given great gifts and great talents, and you've proved you can use them successfully just by being here today. But I call on you to use some of that ability, some of those talents, and some of that drive to improve this world. Nothing I say today or any other day can improve the job market. Nothing I say can really calm your anxieties. But it shouldn't. Life is anxiety from now on. As with all challenges, there's lots of amazing, wonderful, and fantastic opportunities if you face life with zest and a small degree of confidence. I know this because your generation, and I agree with your student speaker, I do believe that you represent a generational change. You don't have to look any further than the presidency itself to prove that. I do believe that your generation will make a difference, but you're not the first to face challenges. For example, in your grandparents' generation, very, very few of them ever dreamed of attending college. My own mother grew up 2 blocks away at number 16 Ashford Street, that I think is now owned by BU. When she lived there, it was a cold water, 3-floor walk-up. She did not own the house. Her family never owned a home. They rented. The best night of the week for her was when she got into this very field on ladies' night to watch the Boston Braves. Like so many in her generation, her family had a limited education, no material wealth, and faced a deep economic depression at the same age that you are right now. Their horizons seemed, indeed, limited. Yet they saved the world from Nazism. They split the atom. They rebuilt Europe and Asia. They conquered outer space. They built America into the envy of the world, and they created the middle class. And more importantly for me, they deserve it. They deserve it. And they gave my generation the chance to be the first in history to enjoy a higher level of education, to go further than they had gone and to learn more than they had learned. My generation took advantage of it. We went to colleges in droves all around this country. We used computers and the internet to make our lives better. We unlocked the genetic code. We created cell phones. They didn't have cell phones when I was in college. And we made them a necessity, not a luxury. How many of you don't have cell phones? You have to have them. And we started the environmental movement. We faced our challenges too. Vietnam, the threat of nuclear annihilation, global economic competition, widespread divorce, communism, the struggle for gay rights, and the struggle against chauvinism and racism. We met some of those challenges successfully, but many of them are still here today. Our Vietnam might be your Iraq. Globalization faces you every day, and climate change is real. All I can tell you is that most of us made life work with our challenges. We built a better world than we found. It's by no means perfect, but it is wealthier, more equitable, more just, and more open than the one we inherited. And now it's your turn. We're almost done. Not quite, but we're almost done. I do not want you to simply follow the path that has been laid out for you. I want you, I hope, I pray to God that you create your own path with knowledge of the past, but with your eyes fixed firmly on the future. Your education level and knowledge right now is the best the world has ever witnessed. You will live longer and healthier lives than anyone ever has before you. Your student body is more diverse than ever. The pay gap between men and women is narrowing. Society is slowly embracing our gay brothers and sisters, and we have elected our first African-American president in history. Our world isn't perfect. Our world isn't perfect, but our pursuit for human equality of opportunity is closer than Martin Luther King ever witnessed. Your generation will discover ways to power our automobiles and our businesses in ways I can't imagine. You'll invent new ways to improve crop yields to feed the hungry around the world. You'll discover new cures for common human diseases. And by the way, you've already started. You forced me to learn something about Facebook and Twitter, whatever that is. I still haven't done it yet, but I will. More importantly to me, as I stated earlier, your generation has amazed me with your commitment to poor black people halfway around the world that have no TVs, you'll never meet, and you'll never know, in your commitment to end the genocide in Darfur. That is an amazing statement about the kind of people you are. Thank you. You've earned my respect and my admiration for that alone. And your generation turned out to vote in record numbers to elect our first African-American president. That's an incredible thing. My generation talked about it. You did it. It's just the beginning. The journey won't be easy. You know that. Life is a constant challenge. Most obvious and immediate one is your challenge facing the economy. I know that many of you don't have jobs. I know that some of you who have jobs don't have the jobs that you want. I know that some of your parents have lost their jobs. And I know that some of you will probably have to defer graduate school because you can't afford to go. These challenges are real and they're difficult. But you are well prepared to face them. And over time, you will. The question I have for you is not whether you will succeed or how you'll do it. There is no doubt in my mind that you will. The question I have for you is what type of person will you be? What type of society will you build when this economic storm is over and the economy recovers? Will you focus so much on your own financial well-being that you become the greediest generation? Will you make college more expensive for the next generation of middle-income people? Will you close our borders to future immigrants? Will you stay committed to a cleaner environment? Some of you will succumb. You will pull that ladder of opportunity up behind you. Some of you, rather than confront the horrors of the world, will turn your back on the next genocide or the next natural disaster. And some of you will consider yourselves superior to those people who work as our waiters and our janitors. You will. But most of you won't. Most of you will emerge from the challenges that you face today more humble, more tolerant, more open to new ideas, more generous and more humane, more willing to help build this country and this world into the place that you dreamed about while you were in college. We have to stabilize the economy as quickly as possible and then keep it strong. We need a strong economy. We need wealthy individuals. We need doctors, lawyers, business people, sports phenoms, and famous entertainers, and maybe one or two politicians. But we also need teachers, nurses, artists, ministers, soldiers, and social workers. This society needs every one of you, rich and poor, no matter what course you follow in life, to engage in society beyond your career. We need soccer coaches, community activists, Sunday school teachers, Girl Scout leaders, PTA members, and environmentalists. There are lots of ways to make a difference in the world. Some of you will make it rich and famous. But most of us will toil in obscurity every day, just as most of your parents and grandparents have done before you. That obscurity does not make us less important. I realize that in today's pop culture world, sometimes it seems that fame is all that matters. But with American Idol and The Bachelorette and all the other so-called reality shows, but I ask each and every one of you, in your life, Who's made more difference? Who's had a bigger impact? The person who created Grand Theft Auto, or a high school teacher and a college professor who might have opened up your mind? The Ali G show, or a high school classmate who died from a drug overdose? The Janet Jackson Super Bowl halftime show? Or your own parents as they trudge to work every single day? They do deserve it. To make your life and this college graduation possible for you. Don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with fame and fortune in pop culture, as long as we do not undervalue the vast majority of us who live and work in obscurity. Most of us will never be chased down the street by the paparazzi or have microphones stuck in our face from the media. Most important question most of us will face is a question that you'll ask yourselves every single week. How can you make the best out of your routine life? How can you use the talents that God gave you to make your lives and the lives of people you love better? How can you make your own lives matter? The answer, I can't give you. You have to answer those questions yourselves.